From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, youths march to office of former President Goodluck Jonathan to urge him to contest the 2023 presidency. Federal High Court sacks former Speaker Dogara from House of Representatives. Group faults generalization of Fulanis as bandits. And on the foreign scene, climate activists rally against fossil fuels, call for end to Russian oil and gas imports. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Jerome Ifade. Now the news in detail. As political activities heat up, many Nigerians are not comfortable with the array of aspirants that have joined the race to replace President Muhammadu Buhari in 2023. In fact, some youths looking back with nostalgia at the years before the present administration came to power are attempting to enlist former President Goodluck Jonathan in the race. The youths led a peaceful demonstration to the former leader's office on Friday, where they intimated him with their agenda. The report.
These youths are on a mission. Their mission has a destination. The destination is the seat of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023. On the way, they are stopping by to persuade the former president to join the race to occupy the highest seat in the land.
We need him back to come and take us from this hustle. We need him back to come and regulate the market women's suffering. We need him back to come and correct the ASU strike. Mr. Jonathan, when he was there as a president, he sat with the ASU representative for complete 6 hours. But today, our youths, our children, our brothers, they are home, languishing and going into vices of crime here and there.
There is nobody else in Nigeria that can do that, except Goodluck. We can understand when Goodluck was the president in Nigeria. When Goodluck was the president in Nigeria, the economy was moving forward. The economy was moving. We could have steady power supply. The pump price was stable.
Former President Jonathan is not too surprised to see these Nigerians, perhaps because there have been clandestine moves to enlist him in the race.
Yes, we are calling me to come and declare for the next election. I cannot tell you I'm declaring. The political process is ongoing. Just watch out.
But his words of advice might suggest something may be in the offing.
The key role he must play is to pray that Nigeria gets somebody that carries the young people along, somebody that can also work very hard to see that some of the problems you raise are dealt with by the government. And I believe collectively we'll work together.
This is the first open attempt to conscript the former leader into the 2023 presidential race. As there is no smoke without fire, his words are instructive. Watch out. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And a coalition of clubs, associations, and professional bodies in Borno State has called on the All Progressives Congress APC to consider selling only one gubernatorial form in the state. This, it believes, will ensure that Governor Babagana Zulum returns to continue his transformational leadership in the state. The group, at a press briefing in Maiduguri, said it wants Governor Zulum to seek another term in office in the 2023 election without opposition. It revealed that it has already bought the expression of interest and nomination forms for the governor, noting that if the party considers its position, there will be no need to sell another form to any other candidate. The spokesman of the coalition, Umar Shetima, said their appeal for the governor to contest is a unanimous decision based on their satisfaction with the present government's achievements in the state.
Some of us beated their chest. One person said he can even sell out his belongings and sponsor the purchase of this form. We said, no, a tree cannot make a forest. That is why we decided to all of us come together and then contribute our little mind to see to the end of this course. I appeal to national headquarters to consider selling just a form to Borno State. It's because following the track of record of His Excellency, we feel nobody should come and compete along with him. Only few of us came together and bought the form. So we are now opening the door for people to also contribute their wisdom, and so that they can at the end say, we have also taken part in the course. And for the excess money that might be realized aftermath, it can be channeled to the electioneering campaign activities. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, a political advocacy group is calling on former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, to join the race for the seat of president. The group, at a news conference in Abuja on Friday, indicated that it was prepared to purchase the nomination form of the All Progressives Congress for Buratai if he accepted to contest. National coordinator of the group, Mr. Sadiq Jikta, said the group's decision was based on General Buratai's achievements as a service chief in the fight against insurgency. He said the former army chief's tenure coincided with the reclamation of overrun territories at the height of Boko Haram's reign of terror. According to Jikita, the group believed that rotational governance should be suspended so that a candidate with the requisite capacity to provide solutions to national security threats could emerge. Now, ahead of the 2023 general election, former senator representing Rivers Southeast Senatorial District, Magnus Abe, has called on Nigerian youths to participate actively in politics for better leadership. Senator Abe said there is need for youths to get their voter cards in order to choose a leader of their choice during the 2023 elections. The report.
The former senator representing Rivers Southeast said that the 2023 general elections is another opportunity for Nigerians to come together and elect a government of their choice. Senator Abe, a governorship aspirant in the state, called on youths to take active participation in governance, as it is important for everyone to have a sense of inclusion in the state and at the national level.
This is not about APC, it is not about PDP, it is not about Tinubu, it is not about Atiku, it is not about Amechi, it is not about Senator Abe. It is about the future of our people. In a democracy, if you don't vote, you are not part of it. If you don't vote, you are useless. You cannot determine your own future, and you cannot contribute meaningfully to any conversation about the future.
Senator Abe also called for support for the former Lagos State Governor Bola Tinubu's presidential ambition. He said Tinubu is qualified to bring the desired change in the country. Former Chief of Staff to the Rivers State Governor, Tony Okocha, said the All Progressives Congress APC in the state has no reason not to support Tinubu for president in 2023 because he rescued former Governor Amechi at the time he was on the verge of being impeached and overrun in 2013.
The only man in Nigeria who is prepared, qualified, competent, and is running to be the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Somebody who will open up the economy, somebody who will give people jobs, somebody who will promote excellence, somebody who will not be afraid to call a spade a spade. Buhari is not a university professor or whatever. He's a military man with military background. He understands the concept of constitutionalism, of freedom, of rights. He behaves well. If one of us does contest, but here, our own leader went to our brother's house to go and warn him not to there. So you can see that going to school is in the mind, not just going to university.
Senator Abe urged his supporters to sensitize people in every nook and cranny of the state to understand that power to choose who leads them in 2023 is in their hands.
A federal high court in Abuja has sacked Yakubu Dogara from the House of Representatives and declared his seat vacant. Mr. Dogara, who represents Bogoro Das Federal Constituency of Bauchi State, was the Speaker of the House of Representatives between 2015 and 2019. The judge, D.U. Okorowo, on Friday ruled that Mr. Dogara's defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressives Congress, APC, was wrong and meant he should vacate the legislative seat. Mr. Dogara defected to the APC after winning his re-election under the PDP in 2019. His frosty relationship with the state governor, Bala Mohammed, was one of the reasons he ditched the PDP, which he joined less than 5 years ago. Mr. Dogara had on July 24, 2020, dumped the PDP and returned to his former party, the APC. President Muhammadu Buhari says despite the huge funds spent to equip the military, efforts at fighting insecurity are being frustrated by Nigerians who provide intelligence to terrorists. The president is insisting that traditional and religious leaders have a key role to play in providing intelligence about the movement and activities in their own domains. The report.
Moving Nigeria forward is a collective responsibility that requires the contribution of leaders at all levels. This sounds like a catchphrase developed by the National Orientation Agency. But it is, in fact, words of President Buhari to religious leaders and traditional rulers who broke fast with him on Thursday night.
We have acquired advanced equipment for our armed forces and the police to strengthen their capacity to confront terrorism and banditry. We have made adequate budgetary allocations for security. Whatever the security agencies request, I made it available to them immediately. But insecurity is a worldwide phenomenon. The cure and the answer is for all sections of society to do their bit and confront the criminals head-on.
The president finds it strange that whole villages are being wiped out because of unpatriotic elements living in these villages.
It is sad to say that these murderous criminals are succeeding because they have supporters and collaborators that help them with intelligence. Those aiding and abetting terrorists are helping to destroy their own communities. This situation is frustrating government's efforts to tackle this problem.
Though the traditional rulers and religious leaders accept their responsibilities as they are closer to the people, they are also challenging government at the federal level to promote unity.
We want to implore our leaders to continue to bring such events like this to the fore and for the entire country to see the strength in our diversity. If you look at this gathering now, you can see a proper blend and a proper mix of every corner of our bare country.
Gatherings like this are only valuable if actors invited can speak truth to power, and if the truths spoken are acted upon without bias. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Security agencies and other stakeholders have been called upon to collaborate with each other to reduce the menace of insecurity in tertiary institutions. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Abuja, Professor Abdul Rashid Na'Allah, made a call in an exclusive chat with Trust TV's Kabir Lawal, who takes a look at how the menace can be curbed in the nation's tertiary institutions. The report.
Professor Na'Allah stated that the security of lives and property is one of the cardinal responsibilities of the school. The Vice-Chancellor further called on other institutions to create and maintain a cordial relationship between the management, students, and the security operatives, both on and off campuses, in order to guarantee seamless information flow for the safety of all
Life and property of students, they are direct responsibility of university administration. And one of the strategies administrations often take, management often take, is to have its own, security, network.
Professor Abdul Rashid Na'Allah also added that the University of Abuja has evolved ways of curbing the menace of insecurity on and off campuses by creating safety units that collaborates with security agencies for the protection of all.
We have what we call the Office of University Safety. University safety is a strong, unit of the university that has intelligence. It has, different kinds of units within the safety unit, and they are very, very strong in ways that they work with all network of security in this country, with DSS, with police, with all network.
Monday Ignitus, a 300-level student of university, said staying off campus enables students to create meaningful relationships with fellow students as well as police and others who may not be easily reached by those who stay on campus.
I think in terms of securing life and property, because of some insecurity challenges we're having currently, I think it is good students, if they can get their house off campus, it's very necessary. The reason is, off campus, like if you can see this environment now, there is no police station, there is no armed stations in the campus that can foster some of the security and tame some of the security challenges we're having. But when you go outside there, you see police station close to you, you see army barrack close to you. So I suggest it's good students stay off campus.
Securing lives and properties is of paramount importance, not just to the student, but also to the nation at large. And it is a core responsibility of not just the security agents, but also all and sundry. In Abuja, Kabiru Lawal, Trust TV News.
And more on security. Some Fulanis have lamented the faulty generalization and labeling of Fulanis as bandits. This follows the reported case of brutality and mishandling of some Fulanis who are mistaken for bandits in Kakura community of Chikun local government in Kaduna State. Fatima Saleh Ladan has more.
President of Yobe Fulbe Global and Development Initiative, Halima Usman Yoman, expressed dissatisfaction with the assumption in many cultures that every bandit is a Fulani.
In a situation where you don't meet somebody with gun, you don't meet somebody with knife, you don't meet somebody with any dangerous weapons with him, and then you have brought a van, you did not ask somebody to enter and he refused. So the way they were throwing them into the van, we were not happy about it. And we are in fasting period. You can imagine if a human being is being treated like that.
It has become difficult for them to move and associate with other people in and around the country due to growing suspicion that they constitute a threat to people and communities.
The challenges we are facing now, you as a Fulani woman or whatever, once you are a Fulani, you are scared of even moving within the country because of the bad name they have already given us, while we are not even that name they are giving us. Everybody knows Fulanis. If you live with Fulani or you work with them, you know that we are lovers of peace. We don't have a problem. We don't like crisis.
She called on the government and members of the public to discontinue any claim of people referring to them as bandits, unless proven otherwise. Fatima Saleh Ladan, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
A family of 5 alongside 6 other people have been killed in their farms at Waya community in Jato Akaturan Council Ward of Kwande local government area of Benue State. Reports say the incident happened on Thursday while the people were working at their various farms, and 11 corpses had been recovered as of Friday morning. Villagers told Daily Trust that the deceased were silently hacked to death, and that many got to know of the incident when relatives started raising alarm over the whereabouts of their loved ones who went to farm and did not return. The locals added that a search party for the missing people immediately went to the various farms, only to discover dead bodies in different locations. Meanwhile, the Benue State Command of the Police Public Relations Officer SP Catherine Anene could not be reached for comment. You're watching News Hour. Coming up after the break. How rainy season impacts waterborne diseases. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within, and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Plastic waste is a major environmental challenge in Nigeria.
This has been the problem for most environmentalists, and not only in Nigeria but all over the world.
Nigeria has recorded about 5,000 incidents of oil spill. All these incidents, were they discovered by your agency?
We detect some. The host communities detect quite a lot. The oil companies themselves, through their surveillance agents, discover some. Because we have to put a lot of efforts on our part to make sure that we synchronize activities with that of the oil companies, working towards preventing a spill.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take another look at our top stories. We told you that as political activities heat up, many Nigerians have joined the race to replace President Muhammadu Buhari in 2023. And a federal high court in Abuja sacked Yakubu Dogara from the House of Representatives and his seat declared vacant. A 17-year-old Buhari Muhammad has been shot dead around Rangiel community of Basa local government area of Plateau State. 4 cows were also killed and 5 people injured in the incident. The state chairman of the Ganala Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Abdullahi Garba, who confirmed the incident, told Daily Trust that the body of the deceased was recovered by the police. The latest incident came barely hours after 2 members of the Irigwe ethnic group were killed, and a convoy of a member representing Jos North Basa constituency, Musa Aga Garba, said Muhammad was attacked when he took his cattle to graze, and gunmen suddenly opened fire on him. ASP Uba Gabriel, the spokesman of the police in the state, did not respond to an SMS sent to him by our correspondent. The Niger State government has said it was not aware people were living in Kurebe community in Shiroro local government area of the state, where the Nigerian Air Force NAF airstrike reportedly killed 6 children and destroyed houses. The Commissioner for Local Government, Chieftaincy Affairs and Internal Security, Emmanuel Umar, who stated this on Thursday in Minna, said the state capital confirmed that there were ongoing air and ground operations by the military and other security agencies in the state. According to the commissioner, the best knowledge of the state government, there are no civilian residents in these areas for some time due to the infiltrations and activities of terrorists, which forced the locals to seek shelter as IDPs in other parts of the state. The commissioner said although what happened was unfortunate, the state government welcomed the ongoing intensified military operations in neighboring states and in some local government areas in the state aimed at neutralizing bandits and terrorists in the area. A body recovered from the scene of a tanker explosion at Alagbado along Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway has been identified as that of a 15-year-old Oluwatobi Lawal. The late teenager was reportedly preparing for West African Senior School certificate examination and Unified Tertiary Matriculation examination. Daily Trust had earlier reported that a tanker conveying 45,000 liters of petrol fell and spilled its content while negotiating a bend to a filling station in the area where the fuel was supposed to be discharged. The fire reportedly broke out, burning shops and 3 vehicles, while some miscreants were scooping fuel, putting their lives in danger. It was, however, not yet clear how Lawal was caught in the fire, which was eventually put out by emergency firefighters. A video obtained by our reporter showed the mother of the deceased wailing uncontrollably, being consoled by sympathizers. The Kaduna State government has again assured that it is working to ensure a clean and healthy environment for all. The assurance comes as the world celebrates the 2022 International World Earth Day. Fatima Saleh-Ladan has more.
This year marks the 52nd World Earth Day with the theme, Invest in Our Planet. The day is celebrated by more than 1 billion people with the aim of protecting the planet from pollution and deforestation. To mark the day, government, stakeholders and volunteers participated in a clean-up exercise to make the environment cleaner and healthier. In a tour of a cleared dump site, Administrator of Kaduna Capital City Hafiz Bayero expressed disappointment at the indiscriminate dumping of refuse at the site barely a week after it was cleared.
We've tried as much as possible in the last 2 or 3 months to clean them up completely and reclaim these areas because they are not dump sites. This, in fact, as you can see, we're by the rail line. We have cleared it completely, but today, a week later, we have come back to see that whatever work we did months ago, we now have to do it again because the debt is back.
He said the state government is considering the possibility of reintroducing the monthly sanitation exercise as well as banning of plastics in the state.
We are likely to look into bringing back the possibility of weekly, the monthly environmental sanitation. We'll do it in such a manner that does not hinder movement. People are allowed to start very early. From 6 a.m. we can start, and hopefully by 8:30 we are done to allow people to go about their businesses.
The first Earth Day was celebrated in the United States when a U.S. senator organized a national demonstration against the deteriorating environment in 1970. Now, it is celebrated in more than 192 countries across the world. Fatima Saleh-Ladan, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And an Abuja-based environmentalist, Yusuf Rigasa, has called on citizens and communities to do more in the areas of waste management, sanitation, and environmental regeneration to ensure sustainability of the environment. He made the call as part of the 2022 anniversary of the World Earth Day, which is marked on April 22nd of every year to draw attention to the preservation of the environment. The event finds significance in the face of climate change and other causative factors of environmental degradation.
So it's high time now the mandate of local government is fully restored in terms of waste management, in terms of sanitation, in terms of tree planting, urban renewal. These are some of the key aspects that we need to invest to ensure that our citizens and our communities are fully in tune with restoring, the green aspects of environmental management to our small planet Earth. So I think the biggest challenge is about funds, but for me, most of the time, I don't look at money as, critical when it comes to, getting rid of environmental performance or adding value to our environmental assets. I believe that if our citizens and communities are properly inducted and adequately, empowered in terms of environmental education, in terms of providing them with the necessary tools for green action, the green space is going to have a lot of exciting activities. For now, the NGOs have the green space. They make a lot of noise. But if you look at climate change, we have a lot of NGOs that are talking or doing one or two things on climate change. What is lacking actually is climate action. So what is lacking in the green space, in a broader sense, is a green action. The green space now is full of noise. But noise will not take us to sustainability. What will take us to sustainability is action. And for me, I believe that we have enough institutions, we have probably enough human capacity. We have even enough policies. What is lacking is for us to bring all these efforts together, synergize them so that we can act collectively to ensure that the sustainability of our environment is fully restored and maintained.
Abuja-based environmentalist Yusuf Rigasa speaking to us on telephone. Now, as the rainy season approaches in parts of the country, some waterborne diseases are bound to spread due to poor environmental sanitation, flooding, and washing of human waste that come through open defecation into water resources. This poses real dangers to human health as people battle to stay healthy during the wet season. Trust TV's Aisha Saliu has more.
Waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid fever are the commonest in communities where unsafe water is consumed. This calls for serious intervention to curb the spread and reduce number of affected people.
The first thing we need to improve our environmental sanitation, especially open dumping. I think Nigeria should have the highest incident of open dumping, so we have to stop that one. Then, proper sewage and refuse disposal system, we have to have them. Then, all these people, all these suburbs, the villages, they have to have proper means of disposing their sewage, especially the toilets and co. Then it must be very, very far from the consumption and water consumption. They are well, and then if governments should be able to provide potable water like borehole, and then we have to public enlightenment. Some people does not know the danger and the challenges open dumping can actually pose on our community. Because in Nigeria now we are facing two burdens. We are facing the burden of infectious disease, and we are facing the burden of chronic illnesses.
Other measures that can help address this public health challenge is to ensure a clean environment and safe drinking water.
Well, as for individuals, is to keep our environment clean as much as we can. But in a place whereby it's like a slum, you understand, where the environment is, you know what a slum is, where the place is not clean. What they can do is community work.
What we do is you take care of your water, you boil them. Before you consume your water, you have to buy a big pot, because now there is nothing you can do. There is all over is borehole. And for you to prevent from all this sickness, you boil your water and allow it to settle down before you put it in fridge or you put it in rubber. So that is number one. And two, you cannot take whatever you see outside, mostly fruit, without washing them with salt.
It is hoped that with the right information on hygiene, communities will become safer and healthier as the spread of waterborne diseases reduces. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
We will now take a short break. News Hour returns shortly.
My name is Tope Fashua. We will be speaking economics, business, finance, sociology, and politics, all with an aim to contribute our best quota to the upliftment of our fatherland, Nigeria. So what do you think is wrong with our fiscal policy in Nigeria?
A lot of things are wrong. First, I think we have issues with our budgetary plan, which serves as the foundation of the fiscal policy. I mean, federal government's budgetary plan.
Is it true that decentralized banking seeks to eliminate central banking, and how?
Well, in theory, decentralized finance is actually designed to have the potential to eliminate central banking, but I would say decentralized finance is or does not currently have the potential to eliminate central banking.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back. The National Association of Telecom Subscribers, NATCOM, has said that it will sue the federal government in May to suspend the government's barring of subscribers' outgoing calls. President of the association, Adeolu Ogunbanjo, said NATCOM would take the government to court if it fails to temporarily lift the ban. It disclosed that the association has to be joined in a suit already filed by Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, against the federal government on the NIN-SIM policy implementation. Now, joining us from Lagos on the phone is President of the National Association of Telecom Subscribers, NATCOM, Adeolu Ogunbanjo. Mr. Ogunbanjo, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for having me.
Okay. It's nice to be talking to you too. Thanks. Now, going to court, do you really think this can force this federal government to rescind its decision?
Obviously, you know, the whole thing started December 2020. And then they gave us 2 weeks. I mean, it was costly, inadequate. And then every 3 months, you know, in the last 1 year, 3 months, they've always extended every 3 months. But beyond that now is we would want a situation where the federal government would sit with the telcos, that is the mobile network operators, to ensure that they have a first-hand information on how far they have gone. Fortunately, NCC, which is an arm of the, which is one of the parastatals under the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, now said that there are about 71 million lines still, connected lines, still to be linked. Now, we are now trying to disenfranchise these people by now saying, yes, you have to now block them. Granted, they've given us some, about 5-6 extensions. But now, we've now seen, subscribers have seen that, okay, you can now not call. And these, majority of them use it for business. It means you can only receive calls, you cannot initiate a call. What if you now have, you now have to call a business person and you want to discuss with that person?
But
yes, in business.
Now,
So for us, sir, the government should understand that 72 million lines cannot just be blocked like that.
But, Mr. Omobanjo, you can see that the extensions have been given over and over. This cannot go on forever.
Thank you very much. You see, imagine about 8-9 years back when they also started saying that we should register our SIM. They gave 3 months, 6 months, and today is open. Sorry, sir. It should actually be open. It should be an ongoing thing. However, in view of the security situation, according to the federal government, they are now saying, look, we need to do it on time so that the security situation can be controlled and taken care of. So that we understand. But beyond that now is the fact that they are now saying that they're going to, in fact, they've actually blocked ongoing, initiating calls, which is ongoing calls from the subscriber. So we have felt the pinch. We have seen what it is not to, initiate any call from our phone lines. So government should understand that, okay, they want, meaning that this is a real practical warning. So lift it for another 3 months and then see that we will all comply. You go to the link centers here and there. It's supposed to be free. People pay as much as 10,000 naira to link their SIM with the link.
Oh.
Again, yes, go to the centers.
Okay.
Go in Mopsy. You find out that is what is really happening.
No, I mean,
and look at the surge of people that are there, particularly at the headquarters in Alausa.
Okay.
It's awful.
And that's in Lagos. Alausa is in Lagos. Now, you have admitted that this thing has been going on and on and on. It has to stop at some point. So going to court, will it actually be a solution? Because don't you think in this circumstance, the government stands on a firm ground?
Well, going to court is the last resort, and that's why we are giving them up to the end of the month. SERAP, one other organization, have taken them to court. In order not to abuse the court process, we want to join SERAP by end of this month. Now, hopefully, federal government will listen and just give us this last 3 months extension. It's affecting businesses. Again, the NIM centers are so crowded everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. And it's supposed to be free. It is not free.
Now, I mean, to the best of the knowledge of government, from what we hear from government, it's being free. But you are now saying that people are paying up to 10,000 naira. Who are you paying to?
Go to the NIM centers that are controlled by government. You see, there are so many challenges as well, and government should understand this. To upload, you see, when you go to the other NIM centers that are private, before they can upload, it takes weeks. So the capacity of the National Identity Management Commission to, the upload, for the NIM centers to upload to their portal, to the website, is also lacking. It's grossly inadequate.
Okay.
About 2 months ago, you all knew that the whole thing crashed. For 2-3 weeks, nobody could upload anything to NIMC portal.
Okay. Now, to be clear, there are 2 points that you made. The question about paying Are you paying to the government worker at the NIN center? That's one. And number two, are you now saying that it is actually the government agencies, not the telecom operators now, or the subscribers that are holding things down? That government needs to look inwards?
It is free, according to government. But because of these encumbrances, it is so frustrating when you get there. Now, people now want to devise shortcuts. And these people that are working there have agents, touts. It is a tout that will come and meet you, that look, if you pay 5,000, you get it done in 1-2 weeks. But if you pay 10,000, by the third day, it's already uploaded, and then you get your NIN number. So it is free. You don't pay to government. Nobody will own up. You know, nobody will own up. But they have agents, they have touts.
Which
and give it to the network operators. Go to their center. It is absolutely free. All of them. Glo, Nine Mobile, MTN, Airtel. Absolutely free. But how many can they do in one day? Perhaps they can do only 10 because the process is very slow.
Okay.
It's very slow.
Okay.
But at the private NIN centers and the government, sorry, it's not free.
Okay.
To actually to tell you the truth, they have agents. It is not the government agents that collect this money. It is their staff. They have agents that they use.
Okay, so just what you're trying to say now, just to be sure I heard you clearly, is that it is actually the government that needs to tidy up its own processes. It is the government agencies that are now holding this exercise down.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Adeolu Ogunbanjo, who is the president of the Association of Telecoms Subscribers. We'll now join Chamun. Thank you too. Thank you. We will now join Chamun Dabeng for more business news.
Nigeria has struggled to reach its OPEC quota of 1.73 million barrels per day, despite increased oil prices as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. However, according to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, Nigeria is expected to reach its daily crude production quota of producing 1.6 million barrels of crude per day in about 2 weeks as authorities reopened wells that had to be closed to keep criminals away. Nigeria's biggest source of foreign cash is crude oil sales, and failure to fulfill output targets means the country is foregoing an opportunity to increase its foreign reserves. Bank of Industry, BOI, and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, have teamed up to increase Nigeria's industrial energy efficiency. This was revealed by the Managing Director of BOI, Olukayode Piton, in Lagos during the introduction of the Project Investment Committee for Industrial Energy Efficiency, IEE, and Resource Efficiency and Cleaner Production, RECP. Reduced production costs, increased profitability, ingenuity, a competitive advantage, enhanced health, and a stronger economy, he claimed, were all advantages of IEE and RECP. According to the representative and regional director of UNIDO, Regional Office Hub Jean Bankole, industries account for 1/3 of total energy consumption and for almost 40% of worldwide carbon dioxide emissions globally. Bankole, who was represented by the environment expert Oluyomi Banjo, stated that the International Energy Agency, IEA, has stated that the enterprises must reduce their existing direct emissions by around 24% globally. According to the International Monetary Fund, the conflict in Ukraine would continue to put downward pressure on commodity prices, hurting oil and gas prices in 2022 and food prices in Nigeria and other countries well into 2023. This was revealed in the World Economic Outlook, War Sets Back the Global Recovery, April 2022. This was revealed in the World Economic Outlook, War Sets Back the Global Recovery, April 2022 research from the banking firm. Inflation is anticipated to continue continue high for far longer than previously forecasted, according to the analysis. Energy and food costs, according to the IMF, contributed significantly to headline inflation in 2021, with variable degrees of contribution across regions. The dramatic increase in oil and gas prices, according to the firm, resulted in an increase in energy costs. It also stated that the commodity price increases are expected to continue through 2022 before easing slightly in 2023, with food inflation expected to be 14% in 2022. That's all for Business News. I am Chamun Dabeng.
Climate change activists around the world staged a wave of protests for Earth Day on Friday, pushing demands such as immediate halt to European imports of Russian oil and gas and an end to building fossil fuel infrastructure. Let's take a look.
In Europe, activists in Berlin, Warsaw, Brussels and elsewhere held rallies outside Germany government and embassy buildings where they handed out red-stained notes of Russia's ruble currency to symbolize blood, saying Russian money was fueling both climate change and the bloody invasion of Ukraine. Germany is among several European nations that are opposed to a complete embargo on Russian oil and gas for fear of damage to their national economies. About a dozen activists in the western Ukrainian city of Lviv, where Russian missiles killed 7 people this week, also took part in the Earth Day protests. In the United States, activists from the Extinction Rebellion group blockaded a New York newspaper printing facility and called for more media coverage of climate change issues. Youth protesters also gathered in locations including the Thai capital Bangkok and Stockholm, where Swedish activist Greta Thunberg joined the school strike, a weekly protest she began as a solitary student in 2018 to highlight the need for urgent action to address climate change. The Earth Day rallies come just weeks after a UN climate scientist report warned there is little time left to reduce greenhouse gas emissions sufficiently to prevent the worst impact of a changing climate.
We will now join Adeni Ajishafe for sports news.
Them into the stream. Maybe at the down, we have upstream, that's where they defecated. The downstream is where the rain fall and the erosion enter the stream. And people who consume this water unknowingly, they are the risk of this particular disease. That's why during rainfall, the outbreak of cholera is strongly.
We do apologize for that mix-up. Now, in March 2020, a herd of wild Asian elephants left a forest nature reserve in southwest China's Yunnan province and trekked about 500 kilometers northward to the provincial capital, Kunming, arriving in June 2021. Let's take a look at how experts took steps to accommodate their movement.
In March 2020, a herd of wild Asian elephants left their home, a forest nature reserve in the Xishuangbanna, Dai Autonomous Prefecture, Yunnan Province. They trekked northwards, arrived in the provincial capital Kunming in June 2021, and then headed back home safely. Their journey has highlighted the need to continue efforts to make the animals' content in the nature reserves they call home, and minimize the impact of their occasional forays further afield. According to experts, it is inevitable that China's wild elephants will roam beyond the reserves, and people must simply find ways of accommodating their movements.
So I think it will be a bit again a distraction, focusing too much on how to prevent elephants going 300 kilometers away. It might happen.
Among the key tools at the forest rangers' disposal is the establishment of elephant canteens, which provide the animals with attractive and nutritious meals. These can be used to keep them in certain locations and from damaging crops. Another tool is modern technology, which helps to keep track of the animals and send warnings to nearby residents.
这红外线只一晒着，有大象经过了，它就爆了嘛。那个地顶那个寨子，嘎，就是有点像吃肉，嘎，就是叫全民注意安全。
Progress has been made on ecological restoration over the past few years, providing elephants with better natural habitat. Economic plantations such as rubber forests have to gradually give way to the original ecosystem. Xishuangbana plans to restore the ecology of about 36,200 hectares of rubber forests and tea gardens during the 14th five-year plan period.
就是通过大家的努力，就真正做到人与自然和谐相处。
And with that, we have come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV. You can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Diron Onifade. Have a nice weekend.